really excited to be here. And also, like, I'm kind of new to the everything marketplace community and very excited to see such a robust community of people that are sharing ideas and leaning on each other. So I'm glad to be part of it as well. My background, been doing this for a while, building software and tech. So I got a recording engineer background, wanted to, mix records like Jimmy Iovine for Tom Petty. That was the big goal. After a year of doing that, realized I wasn't going to really, I didn't have the skill or the resilience for that. And I started writing software and started coding in the 90s, early 90s. Started my first software company in 93, 94 in the travel space. It was a B2B CRM before CRMs existed for tour companies and travel agencies. In 96, as Mark Andreessen launched Netscape, it was pretty clear that my customers were not going to be gatekeepers for travel bookings. So I sold that business in 98 and sort of pivoted completely to options trading. Ironically, I had the money I made from my first business, a few million bucks. I lost most of it trading options at Charles Schwab. And I said, this is a real crime. Retail investors are being taken advantage of. And I started an online brokerage firm in 2000 with a few partners called Options Express. We really were addressing a product market fit for lots of other retail options traders who had similar experience and was able to grow that very quickly with very limited capital, 2 million bucks we raised, and took it public in '05. $2 billion value from a $2 million capital raise. So I come from this like extremely efficient use of capital background. And then ultimately we sold it to Charles Schwab in 2010. Then I pivoted and said, I want to get back into music somehow. So I bought a guitar store in Chicago called the Chicago Music Exchange. That store led me down the path of buying and selling gear, music gear, and musical instruments, led me to the unfortunate world of eBay and the challenges of buying and selling on eBay as a retailer as well as a musician. And I started to hear frustrations and community, and that really, at the same time, after 2 years of owning Chicago Music Exchange and growing that business, I was very much inspired by Etsy. Etsy was the first, this is 2011, 2012, the first player that said, eBay is not Amazon. Like they are not going to win this for every category. They clearly, and it was, we used to call this in 2012 the dismantling of eBay, category by category, because it wasn't obvious. In hindsight, it's so obvious, but then it wasn't obvious that eBay wasn't going to dominate in all categories. At that moment, when I saw that Etsy built community around crafters and people doing it, it was so obvious to me that musicians needed that same community. I dropped everything. It was middle of 2011, and I started prototyping Reverb at that moment. I had bought the domain almost 3 years earlier, knowing that it was just a good music-oriented domain. So we really launched it in 2012 with this idea that musicians needed a better place to buy and sell gear, more trust. The other thing I realized early on, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going too far. I'm in the intro.